Welcome to another session of the Wisdom of the Tarot. Today we're talking about the Tower. Now this is perhaps the most profound card in the pack, and it looks quite scary, and it certainly has profound meanings. Now on a mundane level, this could mean that something radically changes in your life, and it will be sudden, like as the card shows, this flash of lightning that breaks down the tower. Sometimes this card is called the Tower of Babel. And now this happens when things have gone on for some time under the surface, unseen or ignored, and then suddenly it's almost like that last grain of sand topples the sandcastle. And this seems to come from nowhere, but actually it's been building up under the surface for a very long time. So on a mundane level, it could mean things like a breakup of a relationship, maybe a long-term relationship even. So it comes completely out of the blue. But if one looks closer, one will see that actually the signs of this have been coming on for some time. And this, as the card denotes, throws people off kilter, completely throws them off the tower. Their life will probably be never the same again. So it has an element of disaster. However, this card has got a very much more profound meaning, because this brings, or can bring, spiritual enlightenment. Now, I'd like to read to you some extracts from an interview that I did years ago when I was researching psychospiritual studies. And I interviewed lots of people. And this one always sticks in my mind because this so illustrates the tower. So it says it built up and finally culminated on a particular day when everything in my life turned upside down in one morning. It was a catalyst point when everything that had built up just came out. There wasn't any more blocking off to do. I was not in control. It had come to the point of no return on the same day. Everything in my life collapsed. My work, my relationship, just everything overnight. My world fell apart mentally because that's where I was holding most of these things, and things could not have got any lower. All my constructs around me were wiped. I couldn't physically or mentally cope with that moment, so I just had to surrender to it. Finally, I sat down and thought, I'll ask for some help. It felt that that was the only way to understand, was to let go. And when I did, I had an overwhelming experience of peace. And by that evening, I felt so balanced and so peaceful. When you let go, all fear evaporates. I just had to surrender to it. All my constructs were wiped. And this is what can happen in this experience. It's like the carpet falls from underneath us, and there feels like there's nothing. But when there's nothing, there is only one place to go, and that is deep within oneself. So in fact, this card often refers to deep spiritual enlightenment. Now, unfortunately, that happens in one's life when things collapse. I wish it were not so, but we don't willingly put ourselves in that position. But I can assure you with this card, even though there is destruction, there is the signs of new growth. And that new growth is going to take you to a completely different and better place. And I shall talk about that more in our next card, which is the Star. But this is an intriguing card for me, because when I've done groups over the years, tarot groups, and one in particular sticks in my mind. We had 9 people in that particular group. It was a Zoom group. And 8 out of those 9 picked this card, which in itself is extraordinary. And it was about spiritual enlightenment. It happened to me. And this is where the tarot is so intriguing. One day, years ago, and I wasn't doing tarot very much at all. I saw my tarot pack one day and I thought, oh, I'll just have a go. And out came this card. And I thought, that's quite interesting. Left it, came back to it later. The card came up again. And to cut to the chase, shuffle and shuffle and shuffle the cards every single time this card came out. And this card, for me, also had a profound effect. And spiritual changes came into my life. So although this looks like a scary card, it can also mean deep and profound spiritual enlightenment. And as my student that I interviewed said, he just let go. So this is a really fascinating card. And just before I close today, I'll say, while I was thinking about this card over the last few days, I was thinking, actually, this has got a meaning for the world. This has got a meaning because people are going about their business almost as though nothing is going on. But I can assure you, lots is going on. We really are in the middle of massive change. And so to that end, I'm starting a short course on the 15th of November, and I'm calling it Consciousness Rising. And I'll write some stuff in the email that you receive. But, you know, if you pull this card, don't be fearful. Let go. Be with your true self. And I can promise you, your life will radically, radically change, and change for the better. Go well.